Welcome back to You Got a Problem. I'm your host, Lamarcio, and I want to know why marijuana is still illegal.
There's no issue if there's a medical reason for it. Be prescribed it. Prescribe it. I have no problem with that. I don't have terminal cancer, so I don't want to be dictated. I can't use that as a medical release.
You don't want to be dictated to use it as a medical release, but it's okay to dictate to other people that they can't use it because of whatever reason you have personally about what you feel about it? Doesn't really make too much sense, does it?
There are consequences. Whether you believe that you're addicted physically or mentally, there's an addiction process to it, which leads to other drugs. And that's a fact.
Nope, that's conjecture again. Addiction is mental. It may seem like you have physical responses to it, but that's all mental. Plus, cigarettes are one of the most highly addictive things out on the market as it is, and they're still being sold. So where are you getting with this?
Most people who drink socially from a bank, they can control having 2 or 3 drinks or being hammered.
From a bank? That'd be a horrible place to be drinking. You're handling other people's money. That's one of the worst places you should be drinking.
And what happens is alcohol, for whatever reason, has been around a lot longer.
Whoa, I'm going to stop you right there. That's not actually true. Think about it. One of them grew out of the ground, the other one had a process done to create it. But go ahead.
We accept it. Granny down the street can go and she's cool with having 1 or 2 glasses of wine. It's different. I mean, you start getting to the marijuana, and then now you're in a whole different. It may be an unfair characterization.
Yes, there we go. An unfair characterization was placed upon it, and it's being unnecessarily enforced to a serious degree.
But at the end of the day, you're rolling a blunt, you're getting high, and just like I don't want my pilot, my train driver, my taxi driver to be on alcohol, I sure as hell don't want them to be high when they're transporting myself or kids.
If you don't want a person to be under the influence while driving a heavy machinery, then fine, put a label on it and say, do not operate heavy machinery, because that clearly stops everyone who's ever done something wrong.
So, getting it, accessibility is not the issue. It's the social implications that I'm concerned about.
Really? Social implications? You mean assumptions? Yeah, just pretty much assumptions. You can just say assumptions. It's the person's choice to decide how they want to carry on with their life.
Absolutely. You know what? It's funny because we had the discussion when I was in the States. You can get weed anywhere. It's your personal choice. What's stopping you?
It's firstly, you can't get weed anywhere. And that what's stopping you statement, I think our interaction with the police is a little bit different.
I have never lived in a city where I can get cheaper weed on every island I've ever lived at than getting milk. It's
either you got seriously expensive milk or you got some dirt weed. It might actually just be grass. Just letting you know.
Weed, that's your personal choice under a certain amount. Do I want it being sold by the schools? No.
Wait, when alcohol was legalized and regulated, was it sold by schools? Legalization doesn't mean sell it to kids.
Because what's happening is we're turning medical marijuana into a cappuccino, and that confuses children.
That doesn't make any sense. Why are the kids drinking the cappuccinos in the first place? Or are you confusing with these? Because this is a design. This isn't real. I mean, come on, man. This is like a heart, a fake heart. I mean, this one might be a little bit confusing because it looks like it's a drowning bear. That's a design that's created. I don't know what your problem with cappuccinos are, but 2 cups is a cat playing with fish. What is the big deal? Or are you trying to understand why would you put bacon on top? Because that's real. That's a real piece of bacon on top of your cappuccino. I don't understand where this is coming from, but kids really shouldn't be drinking cappuccinos in the first place.
I don't want my kid coming out of school with a nice fat pie like you do here in Bermuda, walking through and stopping at a cafe and going, you know what? What's wrong with weed? The people are in there having coffee and a blunt. It doesn't give me a chance as a father or as a family member to explain to my child that it is a drug. Yes, it is socially acceptable, but this is what could happen.
Actually, that's the perfect time to speak to them. You know, when they ask you about it, you should have an answer to it. But try to do some research into it. Actually look into the studies.
But what's happening is when you legalize it and you put it on every cafe corner, it changes the whole dynamic. Now we're not really dealing with medical now, right? Now it's become a social implementation. I can get an ice cream cone, a brownie, and Tahitian brown weed, which is great.
So you're a hypocrite? You say it's fine to do, but then you try to make an argument with no facts and just conjecture, basically. But you still do it. So you're just a hypocrite.
I hear. But what I'm saying is it changes things. If you're in need medically, you should have it. But let a doctor prescribe it. Do we need to put it in the cafes and be Holland? I don't know. Is it good for Amsterdam? Yeah. They got red. All I would say is you're going to do that in Bermuda. Have a red light district that goes with it.
Wow. Just wow. Because clearly those things are just linked together. I'll be back after this.
Don't just legalize marijuana, but curb the sentences. I don't think you should go to jail for smoking weed.